Most Silverado owners think the 2.7 turbo is easier on oil because it's smaller. That's backwards. I had a customer bring in a 2021 with about 60,000 miles on it. Rough idle, a code that kept coming back, and he was already bracing for a turbo replacement quote. He'd been running whatever oil was cheapest at the parts store because, in his words, it's just a 4-cylinder. How hard can it be on oil? I've watched that exact assumption cost owners real money more than once. Nobody wants to hear the fix was never a part. It was the maintenance he skipped 5 oil changes earlier. I'm Jerry. I've been working on Chevys for over 30 years, and I want to show you why this specific engine changes the conversation about what an oil change actually needs to be. Here's the mistake almost everyone makes without realizing it. Owners pull up next to a 5.3 Silverado, look at their 4-cylinder truck, and figure the smaller engine must be the easier one to live with. You're not maintaining a smaller version of the old small block V8. You're maintaining a turbocharged, diesel-injected engine with its own valve system, and it asks more of its oil than the engine most Chevy owners grew up with. This engine doesn't need special oil tricks. It needs the exact oil GM designed it around. Kept clean, kept full, and left alone. 6 things get you there. None of them cost thousands of dollars. That's exactly why so many owners skip them. Step 1, use the oil GM actually built this engine around, not the oil from the truck next to it. Here's something that surprises almost every owner I explain it to. The 5.3 and the 6.2 sitting on the same lot both call for 0W20. The 2.7 turbo does not. It calls for 5W30 full synthetic, meeting the Dexos 1 Gen 3 spec. Same brand, same generation of truck, different oil. I've had guys walk into a parts store, grab the same bottle they always buy for their old Silverado, and never think twice about it. Because why would you? It says Chevy on the box. But this engine was engineered around a specific viscosity for a reason. And running the wrong one isn't protecting it. It's just working against the tolerances GM built it around. Result? Oil that actually matches what this engine was designed to run, not what worked on the truck you used to own. And this isn't GM randomly making one engine different just to be different. The 2.7 turbo has a different job to do than the V8 sitting next to it. You've got turbocharger bearings, spinning well past 100,000 RPM, direct injection, and a different valvetrain design all working together. The oil isn't just sitting there protecting an old-school pushrod V8 the way it did on the small block Chevys most owners grew up driving. It's supporting a much more complicated system. And GM spec'd the oil around that system, not around habit. Step 2, don't run the interval to the edge just because the monitor allows it. I'm not going to tell you GM's oil life monitor is lying to you. It's a real system, and it does account for how you're actually driving the truck, not just miles on the odometer. But on a turbocharged engine I'm planning to keep for 300,000 miles, I don't personally run it to the last mile the truck offers. Call it old-fashioned, I don't run this interval to the edge on any turbo engine I own, and I'm not starting here. 5,000 miles is where I personally draw the line on a truck I plan to keep long-term. That's not a factory number. That's a mechanic's habit. And I'm telling you it's a habit, not a rule GM printed somewhere. Result? Oil that's still doing its job when it comes out, not oil on its last few hundred miles of usefulness. If this was my own Silverado and I planned to keep it for the long haul, I wouldn't wait until the monitor was almost empty to schedule a change. I'd pick a number, stick with it, and never have to wonder how old the oil actually is on the day something goes wrong. Step 3. Check the level between changes. Don't wait for a warning light. This is the cheapest habit on this entire list, and it's the one most owners skip completely. Pull the dipstick between oil changes. not just when something feels off. It takes 30 seconds. A turbocharged engine depends on consistent oil supply reaching a component spinning at speeds most owners never think about. The dash light coming on is the last warning, not the first one. Checking the oil yourself is the first one. Result? An engine that always has the oil supply it needs, not one running on fumes between changes and hoping nothing happens before the next one. Step 4, don't add anything to the oil that isn't supposed to be there. Here's the part that surprises people, because it goes against basically the whole industry built around this topic. Chevrolet's own owner's manual is direct about this. Don't add anything to the oil beyond what's specified. Skip the additive that promises to protect your turbo. Skip the engine flush between changes too. Chevrolet specifically advises against oil system flushes because they can cause more harm than the problem you were trying to prevent. I know that's not what people expect to hear in a video with the word secret in the title. But the real secret is that this engine was engineered around a specific fluid. And every bottle you add that wasn't part of that engineering is a variable nobody tested for. Result? An oiling system running exactly what it was built to run, with nothing extra working against it. Step 5. Use the correct filter and pay attention to what comes out of the old one. For the 2.7 turbo, that's the AC Delco PF66, or a genuine equivalent built to the same spec. This isn't the place to grab whatever's cheapest on the shelf, and every time you change it, take 30 seconds and actually look at the old one. You don't need to cut it open on every single change, but if the truck's been running rough, if a code came back more than once, if something about it has felt off, cut the filter and look at what's caught in the media. Fine gray material is normal wear. Anything that looks like metallic glitter is not. And it's telling you something before the truck does. Result? Oil that's actually being filtered the way this engine expects, and an early warning if something's already going wrong. Step 6. Know what this engine actually is before you diagnose it as broken. This is the one that saves people real money, and it's the one most owners get backwards. The 2.7 turbo doesn't run a simple fixed valve system. It uses what GM calls a sliding cam system, hardware that physically shifts position to change valve operation depending on load, including cylinder deactivation under certain driving conditions. GM has published service information on this exact system, describing cases where that sliding hardware can bind or stick, especially on lower mileage trucks. When that happens, you can get a check engine light, a rough run, or a code that looks alarming. Here's why that matters to you. When a 2.7 turbo starts running rough or throws a code, most owners assume the worst about the turbo itself. Before you let anyone quote you a turbo replacement, make sure the shop is actually diagnosing the valve system this engine is known for, not just guessing at the most expensive part under the hood. A rough-running 4-cylinder turbo isn't automatically a dying turbo. Sometimes it's exactly the kind of documented valvetrain behavior GM has already written service procedures for. That customer I mentioned at the start, the one bracing for a turbo quote, his truck had a documented code tied to that exact sliding valve hardware on an engine with barely 60,000 miles. We diagnosed the actual system instead of jumping to the turbo. Turned out the turbo was fine. The valve hardware needed attention, and it cost him a fraction of what he'd already mentally spent on a new turbo. The mistake I see owners make over and over is replacing the most expensive part first. A turbo is an expensive guess. A proper diagnostic process is cheaper every time. Result? You spend money fixing what's actually wrong instead of paying for a turbo the engine never needed. Take care of the oil the way this engine was actually built for, and you give the rest of the system the best chance to go the distance. Drop your model engine, and mileage in the comments. Tell me what you're looking at, and I'll point you in the right direction.